land of forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the weekly meditation vlog series. This is vlog episode number 4, TO Music and Meditation, a vlog series where we just talk about meditation, wellness, spirituality, just a way I can express myself on YouTube and share common interests with other people who are interested in wellness in this current topic. Today we are talking about religion versus spirituality. Can you be spiritual? Can you be wellness and religious at the same time? Or can you be religious and spiritual at the same time? I've heard different things. You know, I grew up in California, in a lot of places, a lot of people I met, especially living in Los Angeles for 11 years, I met a lot of people who were very spiritual, but they knew nothing about religious. And now I live in the South, the southern part of the United States, and I noticed quite the opposite, where I meet a lot of people who are religious, but they are not spiritual. So I just had a different view on both of these things, and I wanted to talk about them and just express some opinions. Now, I am not an expert on religion. I am not an expert on spirituality. I like to practice meditation, but there is plenty of things that I need to learn and I still need to do. So let's get started, shall we? So I remember growing up as a young kid in the central coast of California, going to a waterfall on a nature hike. Nature was very healing, and that was almost like a church for my mother, the type of spirituality that she taught. We would go to the Indian powwows, and we would go camping at the Indian powwows, and we would do all kinds of different activities and seminars we would attend for spirituality, especially at these Indian powwows. We'd be practicing, learning all about different things about nature, about the land, about just the way of life that they taught it, but it was never actually religious. There was no teachings about, you know, Jesus or God or how to even pray. Actually, it was like the way spirituality was working for me growing up. It was like spirituality is you could pray any way you want, you could meditate any way you want, as long as you're practicing mindfulness every single day, or you're practicing it as much as you can, the message will come to you and it will just get to you. Yeah, sometimes people need a little bit more structure than that. You can't just be so free-flowing when you're practicing spirituality. And that's where I think religion comes into play. Religion is much more organized, and it is much more like a community-based event, and that is just something that I want to talk about. So I have a couple quotes that I want to talk about in this next scene. So growing up, I noticed a lot of my friends who were very spiritual in their early years, lately in the last 2 to 3 years, they have been practicing religion more. They have been posting religious quotes. I've been seeing them on social media, at church with their families, and just being more family orientated, practicing their spiritual elements in now a very religious setting. And I just thought that was very interesting. I asked one of my good friends, I said, what made you transition from being more spiritual to religious? And he was telling me that spirituality is actually, this is his opinion, and you know, maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't, but he was telling me that spirituality is actually just a cloak that they use for what the religion is actually supposed to be teaching. There's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of discipline that needs to happen when you are religious compared to spirituality. When you are spiritual, you can just focus on yourself and focus on the individuality. I notice a lot of people who are spiritual, they tend to be always have narcissistic traits just a little bit. You know, they're always talking about themselves, they're always talking about their journey, they're always filming their spiritual journey and posting it online. Whereas religious people, it's just part of their lifestyle. It is just part of their lifestyle. They're just doing what comes from the morality of their heart. But I could be 100% wrong, and I don't even know if I believe that 100% myself. That is just one opinion that I have heard from friends who transition from being spiritual to religious. So I saw this post when I was doing some research. It said, spirituality is defined as a connection to something greater than yourself, compassion or feeling with ourselves, others in the world, and contribution or service to others in the world. I thought that was a very good definition of what spirituality is, but what is the definition of religion? I do not know. So I know a lot of people who practice wellness, who practice meditation, who practice spirituality, who use crystals and other forms of new age stuff, and they say that they don't want to be part of any religion. I know people who say that religion is fake, that it was a book that was written thousands and thousands of years ago, and it was rewritten so many times. And like I said, I know people who are religious who said spirituality is just a cloak for something bigger. It is not meant out what it's really meant to be. I personally think that religion and spirituality go hand in hand. When I meditate, it is my form of prayer. When I wake up in the morning and I say thanks and I give gratitude to God, I am saying thank you, and I am praying just for my life, for being healthy, and just for being able to make videos just like this on YouTube in the time we live in 2024. I think spirituality is a much easier thing to accept in our modern age, in this new age, 2024, it's much easier to say I'm spiritual and I believe in God than in the past when you were just religious and you believe in God. Now you can do both, you know what I mean? I think it goes hand in hand, but there are people who disagree with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. How has meditation helped you? Are you religious? Do you practice spirituality? Do you practice wellness? And do you combine it with your religious teachings, with what you learned from religion? Leave a like on the video and make sure to hit the subscribe button, and we're going to continue off next week. Thank you. This is T.O. Music and Meditation.
Fernando forever.